Hey, so in today's video, you're either watching this video from one of two perspectives, okay? Number one is you're a business owner, you've previously worked with one or maybe even a few marketing agencies and you've had poor results. Maybe you found the good apple eventually, maybe you haven't to this day and you've just been disappointed multiple times. Or you're an agency owner that essentially wants to avoid delivering poor or bad results to their current clients or maybe even your future clients. Okay, so if that's the case, watch this video until the end because I'll be speaking from my perspective as being someone that has ran a traditional agency that has scaled it to making 20K a month for myself and then closing that business to essentially now launch my growth infrastructure marketing agency. So a different type of model that I will be covering briefly in this video. And that has essentially led me to living just a better stress-free life, being able to provide everything I've wanted for myself, but also clients as well. Because running a traditional agency, I also did have, the 1, 2, 3 clients that had just horrible results. It was a horrible relationship. And just led to them being underwhelmed and me experiencing a bunch of stress with the payments and the bills and fulfilling and acquiring new clients constantly in order to keep the wheel turning. And nowadays, I just don't think about that anymore, okay? And I live a much more stress-free and enjoyable life. So essentially, what I will be covering in today's video is why the traditional agency model is fundamentally, okay, keyword fundamentally, it's not your fault, it's literally the business model that doesn't work. So why the traditional agency model is fundamentally flawed and leads to clients feeling disappointed and agency owners feeling overwhelmingly stressed, okay? And number two, also cover how you can actually avoid this circle of pain and build something worthwhile for yourself and your clients. Okay, which is obviously the growth infrastructure model. So you don't have to completely change your offer. You can still offer marketing. We still offer marketing and client acquisition, and kind of couple and throw in some AI automation there with the new updates in GHL. But you can essentially keep the same type of business without following the same type of model. So that's what I will actually be covering right now. So let's get right into the two models. Okay, so we have the traditional agency model and we have our model, which is the growth infrastructure. More and more agencies are starting to apply this as they are realizing that the traditional thing doesn't work. Even agencies like myself that have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars, everyone's moving to this. Still though, 99% of agencies are following this model. So if you're a business owner, just watch out. You much rather work with someone applying this model, and I will explain why in depth right now. But you can already see, so let me actually pull up our previous model here, what we were offering. So this right here was our previous offer. You can see right away, quite basic, really a low value offer versus now essentially what we offer here, which is much, much more in depth. Okay, these are just an overview of the systems. Now we have a Lucidchart for every single one of these marketing systems, client acquisition, data analytics, and the AI automations as well. And this is actually our scaling protocol. So much more in depth. This is really the template format. And then we compile kind of a Lucidchart, a personalized Lucidchart with a turnkey solution for every single client that comes in. And I will show you how we're able to do that in a few minutes, probably in the next 1 to 2 minutes. So stay tuned. But essentially, why the traditional agency model is flawed is because you have this inherently low value offer. Back in this time when we were offering this is just ads. Okay. Sometimes we would upsell to like a website, but traditionally it's just ads and maybe a 1K upsell. So something low value that plenty of other agencies offer. And this applies whether, by the way, you do appointment setting, whether you just do content, whether you just do SMS or email marketing. It's a low value offer, okay? You're just fixing one little piece in a big system, okay? And the reason why this oftentimes doesn't work is because you are indeed just working on one small aspect of the business rather than a full aspect of the system. That system will then affect the business. Okay, so you can't really make a difference with this low value offer. But because it's low value and because you have a bunch of competition, now you have to charge low ticket pricing, usually between 1-3K. If you're lucky, maybe 5. Okay, and sometimes when you're working with a big business. And the reasoning behind this for businesses is like, okay, I'll pay someone to provide this low value offer. I want to pay them as cheap as possible, but then they expect good results. But the truth of the matter is, and being someone that wasn't in the agency space that was running this model, you can't get good results because you can't hire good talent. Now, obviously, sometimes the ads would pop off and completely change the business and print to bust your money. But I'm talking consistently scaling businesses. It wasn't the case, okay? You would have a good cost per lead, but then the client could not call up the leads or qualify the leads or set the leads or close the leads. So it didn't really end up being an increase in revenue, okay? And the reasoning for that is that as the agency owner, I just couldn't hire talent. I just couldn't hire anyone because I had to make profit margins, right? Like any business. But with this low ticket pricing, you just can't do that. Even if you keep a client for 10 months and they're paying you 1K a month, even if it ends up being 10K, or in the case of it maybe being 2K a month, 24K or 20K, well, it's still on a monthly basis. Not like you're getting that cash up front. And if you're in the business game, you know that cash collected upfront is the name of the game. The more you collect, the more you're able to reinvest into talent, into systems, and therefore you can get good results. But with this agency model, you just can't get good talent. So therefore the results are very, very unpredictable. Okay, most agencies won't say that when on a call, but they are extremely unpredictable. They cannot guarantee, even though they say they can, they cannot. Okay. And what this ultimately yields to is high client churn, which essentially means a business owner is now stressed because he just lost his 1 or 2K or 3K retainer, and client is not happy because they just wasted not only the 20K associated with the 10 months of working with the agency, but they've also lost those 10 months. Okay, those 10 months could have yielded a completely different scenario, and business time is money. Okay, now with our model that we're implementing right now and that I highly recommend you learn more about as a business owner to hire agencies when following this model, or if you're an agency owner watching this right now, to learn more about this model to implement it for yourself. But what essentially how this offer distinguishes itself is that instead of providing a low value service that you just sell to everyone, you want to actually build and release a certain infrastructure into a business. When I say infrastructure, I mean the whole full system. So if you're working on the marketing, you're working on generating the leads, but then also perhaps setting or at least putting in some automations to help their team set. Okay, so you're really taking care of the whole step. So the gap between, let me actually take a flow chart here. So the gap between where they are and then where they want to be as that business, you just want to close that full gap. Okay, where they want to be. Okay, and then you just want to close this full gap right here. Okay, whereas with the ads or the low value service of just providing ads, for example, you can bring them from here. Probably, let me get an arrow here. So with the build and release, you're able and you want to build an infrastructure to get them from here to here. But when you're just running a low service offer, you can maybe get them from here to here. And then they're not happy, so they go back, hire another agency. Maybe that agency does the same thing, or maybe that agency brings them even here or here, but they will never cross that full gap. So crossing this full gap is insanely valuable, especially if you can do it consistently, and you can do it consistently when you have a good offer, right? Because it is multifaceted, you're focusing on multiple variables. So there's not just one variable messing up the whole system because you're focusing on all of them. And the ROI outcome is much, much higher for getting them from where they are to where they want to be. Okay? So you can actually charge more. So this means premium pricing because there's a higher likelihood that they will go from where they are currently to where they want to be in a shorter amount of time and without having to go through probably 2 and let's say a half agencies or 3 agencies or whatever, okay? And without wasting a bunch of time because time is money once again. Now with this premium pricing, what's cool is that the way you ensure results is by properly building and incentivizing a premium team, premium talent. So you are able to keep your margins and hire premium talent to take care of the work. People that have a proven track record, people that have done this a bunch of times in the same industry, in the same niche, and that can essentially guarantee results. And what is cool with this model is that you also have the choice of, yes, build and releasing this infrastructure into the business once, do it maybe a 3-month, a 4-month contract, boom, 10, 15, 20K up front. It's done. Within 3 months, they're already where they want to be. Or for those which you want to actually, work long term, which can actually benefit drastically from your service and or have already benefited drastically in 3 months, and you want to partner, perhaps get a rev share or profit share or some equity going there, well, then you also have that option, leading to really long-term mutually beneficial partnerships and extreme growth for both yourself as the agency owner, but also the client. Okay, whereas traditional agency, it literally just always ends up churning. Okay, whether it's a year or even 2 years in, they will churn at some point. So it never actually gets you like life-changing profits. And same thing for the client. They will never, even if they stay with you for 3-4 years, they will never achieve life-changing results. Okay, and at the end of the day, we're in it to make those results happen, right? We're not here to be average. Okay, so essentially, I believe this is the end of the video. So moral of the story, if you're running this right now, or if you're hiring this, stop, okay? And instead start applying this model as a business owner, as an agency owner. And I guarantee you, okay, and I'm speaking from experience, I guarantee you that you will get more results, get more for every single penny you invest into your marketing or into your infrastructures, and you will scale heavily in the next few months. Okay, it's just impossible for that not to happen. Okay, and on that note, I will be going into way more depth on this model, perhaps even really breaking down every single one of our systems here. Giving you guys the sauce in the really in-depth Lucid charts, maybe even showing you what we've been doing for clients like real estate development, for example, right here, an example of automations and workflows. So if you want to see all of that good stuff, just click the subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next video.